Welcome to Digital Marketing RoWHY, the podcast that connects marketing to your business's revenue and covers everything you need to know to stay up to date in this crazy digital marketing world.
Welcome to Digital Marketing RoWHY. I'm Shannon Allen, your host, and I'm here with Krystal Vivian, of course, my favorite co-host. Hi, Krystal.
Hi, Shannon. How are you?
I'm good. I can't believe we're already doing this episode.
I know.
It's our
crazy.
Third year doing it?
It's our third year because we were going to hit 4 years in June. So it's our third year looking back at the last year, all of the content that we did, and deciding what did we do really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's December, so it's a great time to talk about it. Yep. I think in past we might have done it in January, but we're a little ahead of the game.
I think sometimes we do it like the last episode or the first episode.
Yeah.
If you look back of our very first episode of this year, 2025 was the best episode.
It was. Yeah, exactly.
So
yes.
That's okay.
I thought what we would do today is I picked my top three.
Okay.
You picked your top three. We'll see if we have any of the same ones.
Okay.
And we probably have them for different reasons. So it's not going to be a real long one, but I just want to look back and talk about it. So why don't you go first? What's your first one?
My first one is, this is one that I really love because it's a little bit different than what we normally do. It's the episode called Balancing Work and Motherhood with the FBS
Gosh
team.
darn it. That's one of mine too. It was totally fun. Yes.
That was such a good episode because I love, first of all, I think we have an incredible team.
We do.
And I love any opportunity that we can to highlight them, highlight what they're doing. But I also thought it was really cool to talk about something other than marketing.
It totally was, because we're the behind the scenes people doing the marketing, but we're also real people.
We're also real people dealing with real problems.
Everyday life.
Being working moms.
Yes, dealing with sick kids, having the snow days, and we got to leave work early.
It's tough out here.
Yeah.
But so I loved that. I love being able to share that perspective and that kind of expertise from our team that's a little bit different. And also introduce our audience to them, because not everybody knows everybody that works behind the scenes for us.
Yes.
You do if they're assigned to your account. But if they're not assigned to your account, you might not know Hannah. You might not. And if you don't work with Rory, then you're not going to work with Rory because you're not one of her clients. But she's still like everybody is a valuable member of our team. And I just think the more often that we can share them, the better.
So I picked this also. It started because it was around Mother's Day, and I had been asked by some peers of mine, somebody that I know that does a podcast, and she asked me to be part of this Mother's Day podcast, just how we balance work-life balance and being a mom. And so I was on there with two other people I didn't know. I think one of the ladies I had met in years past, we sat on a panel together. And the person that was running it was somebody I actually interviewed for a job. She was up for a job of company. I was helping them hire a digital marketing person, and we become friends. And so it was a really neat podcast. I was like, oh, I'm going to copy that idea. So it was super fun. I think for me, just stepping away from the everyday life. And we have new moms. We have somebody like Carly who has a 14-year-old that's 13, 14-year-old like I have. And then she also has a baby, Jet, who's in his first year. And then Rory having two young ones, and you having Maya that's getting ready she's in preschool. And so just hearing from everybody and really relating to, gosh, we're all in the same boat. And even though my daughter's 13, I can so remember those days where you just feel like you're about to pull your hair out between you got a sick kid and then you're sick and you're trying to do your work. It's a lot.
It's a lot. And there's also a lot relatable too, because I'll get a call from preschool that, hey, Maya's throwing up.
Yes.
You got to come get her. And you might get a call from school saying, hey, Ava's throwing up. You got.
Yeah. And we're on a Zoom call. We're sitting in a meeting and our phone's blowing up. Yeah. It was good. It was good to step away from. And by the way, I've always said there is no such thing as work-life balance. We blend it together and it works together. We hope we can balance it out.
Yeah.
But I think hearing from individuals as moms, it was really special.
Yeah.
I
think so too.
So yeah, we both have the same one. Okay, I'm going to ask you number two. What was your number two? I'm going to hide. Yeah, you asked me number two. I'm going to hide mine.
Yeah. What is your? Okay. So was that your number one as well?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So what is your number two?
For me, I went back and forth on this one. One of them is, it really comes down to the evolution of digital marketing and as relates to reporting. If that's yours, that's yours. you do oversee the client. Okay, I'll change mine because I had a good second. I was between that one and when we talk about tipping points.
Okay.
I will go with that. I'll let you handle the reporting.
I didn't go with a tipping point one because I figured that you would.
Well, I so hope that you're going to go with a different one for your last one. So
we'll see.
Okay, so I'll let you handle the reporting one because that I would say was a close tie. So as we're really focusing on, and have been for years, on the CTV and the streaming, and the fact that we finally hit that tipping point where there's more consumers today streaming platforms than there are people watching linear TV or watching their cable box anymore. So we knew once we hit that tipping point, as a digital marketing agency, we can do so much more to help our clients than ever before. Because now when you have mass amount of people watching, you can really do more with that. And you can really strategically go after. It's going to change the way that traditional TV has always lived. Mm-hmm. And we're going to change that landscape, that it's not going to be that many more years that people will not be doing linear because everybody will be streaming.
100%.
So once that tipping point happened, it was in May and it came from Nielsen, it just continues to grow and grow. And anytime in digital marketing, when the tipping point happens, one of my favorite speakers, and I'm sure I talked about this in that podcast, which is Simon Sinek, he talks about in his why is finding your why is that tipping point, that you always have those early adapters, right? Those people that are going to do it no matter what because it's the cool thing to do. And then you have those people that are the late bloomers that are not going to do it till mass tipping point has been reached. I think there's another book he always references, tipping the...
It's The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell.
The Tipping Point is one of them. There's another one that Simon Sinek talks about, and it's on the tip of my tongue right now. But I just love that whole concept in marketing alone about the tipping point. So we're trying to reach the masses. And once it starts small, just TikTok started and nobody was on it. Next thing you know, it's just gone bigger and bigger. That's where Facebook Reels came, and that's where Instagram Reels. And now when we say TikTok, half the time we're talking about Facebook Reels, like Kleenex, right? Yep. So that tipping point is important for what we do. So it was one of my favorites that I can also say right next to the reporting one. So I'll let you talk about the reporting one because that was my other one.
Yeah, I think that one was really fascinating. First of all, we recorded that podcast before my role change.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was focusing on just reporting for the social team and would look over some of the reports sometimes from the campaign team and was always really fascinated by it, but didn't quite understand it. But I learned so much in that episode about especially the importance of not just looking at the numbers, but what do they mean? What is the story that is being told? What really and which numbers are even important? Which numbers really matter? And which ones are like, yeah, we want to keep an eye on that, but by and large, for the most part, other than looking at from a trend perspective, not really that important. And then also, how do these numbers work together to be able to show, okay, we are trying to sell this product or this service. Are we successful at that?
Right.
Are we doing that? Are we driving revenue for our clients? And I think that is a really powerful episode. I do think that our reporting, especially now that since I've been in this role since August, that I've had a deeper and a much deeper education and understanding of our reporting, I still feel like I have a lot to learn, but I also feel like I've come a long way.
You have.
Our reporting is incredible. The amount of detail and thought that goes into it and what actually, like, the strategy that comes out of it, because it's not just, okay, here's what your numbers were this month. Everything looks great. Bye. See you. Yeah. It's, okay, hey, this is what we're seeing. And in your industry, this is what's happening. And we need to pivot this way. And this is what we're going to recommend for you to do next month or to do even this month.
Yeah.
Or, oh, hey, things are looking great, but what if we in this area, but what about this area? And having a partner who can look at that, who can look at those numbers and translate it to your business and your bottom line is super powerful. And so I think that, like, when I look back at the year, I think that episode is really powerful. And it's one of the ones that I am actually going to go back to as I go into the beginning of
and look at it from a different perspective. I always had it in my mind. We did back in November, we did the podcast on your new role and being the director of client services. One of the reasons I knew that you would be great in that role because you are a storyteller, right? Your background comes from that. You're a journalist. And you understand the storytelling, but you're also analytical, but you know how to do what is my favorite thing, which is tell me what it means to me and why I should care, right? So you do that all day long because you're a storyteller. Yeah, it was one of my favorite, but I'm glad that you got to use that as your favorite. Because if you think about it, when I'm talking about the tipping point, that's marketing 101. Like anytime we can reach that tipping point, we got to jump onto it in the strategy. Now in your role as the director of client services, like that storytelling is only going to get better and better because that's who you are and you're going to be able to teach that strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I got my last one.
Okay. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is I just think we're going to continue to talk about it. And I'm still working on a way to implement this, even though it's not in our day-to-day of what we sell. It's something that's going to continue to grow, and that is influencer marketing for local businesses.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So that's not yours?
No, that's not mine, but I love that it's yours.
It is, I believe, whether you call that brand ambassadors, you call that content creators, influencers, whether that's a micro, a nano, a macro, whatever you want to do. We really started to dive into that. And if I had my way, we would start another level of our business, and we might just still, because I think there's a lot of clients out there. And I talked about this with one of my really large car dealers recently, that there is a huge value to taking somebody that's doing influencer marketing. And I'm not talking about asking Kim Kardashian, right?
No.
I'm talking about that everyday mom that's driving the minivan or driving the Volvo that we know she can keep her kids safe in it. And she is somebody that has, it could be as little as, and I say little, but you could be somebody that has 50,000 followers. And I forget how they categorize that, but
that's even actually a lot.
That is a lot. You could have 20,000. You could have 5,000 be considered a nano, I believe.
So it's actually 1,000.
1,000
considered a nano,
yeah.
And then a micro influencer, because nano is smaller than micro.
Right.
A nano influencer or a micro influencer is, I think, 5,000 to 10,000.
Look, there's a couple local ones that I follow that, like I said, I think we're friends. We start to evolve into that, and you work with these everyday people, whether that's kids, moms, teenagers, dads, whoever that is. It's a whole family. But they start to use your products and services, and people want to trust them because they're only going to market things that they believe in. And so there's a credibility level there. So it just was one of my favorite, because I think we're not done talking about it. I think we're going to have more episodes about that in 2026, because I would like to start to help our clients connect those dots and figure out how do you do that? What's the strategy behind it? What's the creativity behind it? And how do you buy that?
And how do you work with these people?
How do you work with them? Yeah. So that was mine.
I think that's a great one. I love that that's your third one. My third one was also about social media, but it was the one about how to get the social media algorithms to work for you.
Oh, yeah. That's so funny. That was not going to be mine. Don't get me wrong. I try to explain it to my friends, but it's not my favorite one. I love it. It's very interesting, but I love how much it is your favorite.
It is my favorite because it is something that I think about a lot. Social media has been so key to my job since literally I was in college. Years ago. And the algorithms have changed a lot, but they all largely work the same way. And I think that we talk a lot with business owners who are like, yeah, Facebook doesn't do this, and they get mad, but they don't really understand it. And so I love being able to peel the layers back, peel the onion back, and show this is exactly how it works. They don't hate your business. They're just running their own. And if you can understand their rules, you can make that sandbox your kingdom. You can absolutely have the hugest castle in that sandbox and beat all of the other kids, all of the other businesses, but you have to know how it works.
Yeah.
And that knowledge is so powerful. And I also spent a lot of time working on that.
Yes, that was.
Because I did a webinar.
Yeah.
I'm working on a in-person presentation about that, going deeper, even deeper.
It's a lot to understand.
It's a lot to understand. But it's one of my favorite things to talk about. And so I feel a little selfish choosing one where I was.
Listen,
my baby, but I was really proud of it.
No, I think that's honestly, the tipping point was like that for me. The influencer, you and I both just played off of each other, but we just find it so interesting. But I do find it very funny that at least two of them we were both agreeing on.
Spot on.
Which is okay. But next year, we're going to bring even more to the table. I'd like to do more of we've talked about we're going to try to do more social management trainings in person and try to do a live podcast in the Kalamazoo market, the South Bend market, as well as Fort Wayne. So stay tuned for those. Those would be great. Krystal and I have had a plan to try to put it onto YouTube. We were a little derailed, but that's coming for 2026.
That is
We're going to do video.
definitely
Not that I really want to see myself, but I think it's the way of podcast anymore. And it's another way to relate that we really are real people sitting here doing this, having very honest conversations. And yeah, we very often don't stop and go, edit that out. Every now and then, if you're going to cough or something, we do. But
yeah.
These
are usually pretty straightforward.
They're pretty straightforward.
The most editings I do is take out our uhs and ums.
Exactly. Thank God.
And the 17 times that
I say 100%. That is your favorite word.
It is.
We can do our favorite word is 100%. There's one time I think I was like counting it and I was going to ask you. That's the fun of podcasts. Yes.
It is. It's on record.
Yes, it is a way for us to hear ourselves.
Yeah.
So.
And learn.
Thank you. It's been a great year. I always look forward to your end of year social media podcast that is with your team, because that's such a huge, I didn't even talk about it in the episode in November on digital trends because it needs its own platform, as does AI, but social management continues to evolve and change, and you're my expert at that, and your team is the expert. So I look forward to hearing that one. And I get to just listen. I don't have to be there.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks for a great year. Thank you. Thanks for a great year, Krystal.
Thank you for a great year, Shannon. We'll see you next
can't
year.
wait for 2026.
Me neither.
So thank you to our listeners, and tune in to our next episode of Digital Marketing ROI.
You've been listening to Digital Marketing ROI from Federated Digital Solutions. Do you have an idea for a future episode or a burning digital marketing question? Text ROY to 45364 to get a link where you can share your idea. Subscribe to get new episodes every other Thursday, plus Tip Tuesday insights every week.
Podcasts by Federated Media.